Hey guys, what's happening? It's Junaid, and today I wanted to talk about the power of building in public. A lot of us build things in our basement, in our garage, in our workshop, and when the final product is ready, you share it with the world. But as you're doing this, you also are getting feedback or asking friends and close ones to you, hey, what do you think about this? This is something I'm working on. But something that I've started to notice is something called building in public. You're building it in public to get that live, unadulterated feedback from people to say, hey, this is what this guy's working on. Here's what it's doing and what's really possible. And I've seen a lot of really powerful projects come together that are now doing some amazing things. One specific project that I discovered just earlier today was I can't even remember the name of it. That's how fresh it is in my mind. But what's really powerful was that this guy is on a daily basis sharing with the world what he's working on, and as he's sharing with the world, yeah, here it is, Ferryman IO. Ferryman IO is a product that enables you to post one piece of content and that automatically posts additional pieces of content to other platforms that you already have connected on their platform. And it just simplifies how things look and how things go out when you post. So what that does is you're building in public, you're sharing to people the progress that you're going. And another space that I've seen that is with GitHub. If you have a public project, you're technically building in public because as you update the system, as you update and add in new features to the system, people see and they're downloading, and you get that community support going forward. A project that I've been following for at least 2.5 years, maybe more, is Fabric by Daniel Miessler. And I didn't know about this till I saw this YouTube video on by Network Chuck, and he's talking about how Daniel's built this amazing system called Fabric, which enables you to utilize AI to create content on the go. Not on the go, but with more structure, essentially. And he built this tool, and initially it was running, I think it was running on Python, and then later on they switched over to Google's Go platform, and that was really cool to see the different things that they've been able to build on top of that. Now, as he's doing this on a daily basis, the contributions that you're posting on the blog on the GitHub, people are coming back and they want to contribute. They're testing it out on their platform. They're sharing with the world that, hey, I'm using this platform. It's helping me make sense of the content I'm watching. And one of the main mission behind this entire project for Daniel was that as soon as he saw ChatGPT come out, he's like, I want to learn everything this is doing. I want to implement and create a structure. And who here, drop in the comments, who here has copied prompts that people have shared? Who here has copied prompts, saved them in notes, saved them in Google Docs, or bought a library of prompts? Like, we've all done that. We've all saved those screenshots over the year. And what's really interesting is that as you're saving, you're like, hey, how do I implement this? I have this in my back pocket, but how do I actually implement it? So Daniel with Fabric created this platform to be able to use these really easily by creating these patterns. We're way past all of the stuff that he worked on because now we have live agents. Now we have live, we have Google Cloud, or we have Claude, Anthropic's Claude, creating content for you. Thanks to James. And like so many different ways that you can do that. So I jumped in trying to solve my own problem almost, 4 months ago. And this is a problem that I've been facing for the past 4 years, maybe even longer, as a podcasters. How many different applications do you have to go through to make sure that your podcast is running and is out available to the world? Forget about, don't even worry about you having to figure out how to find the guest. For that, you want to go to podmatch.com, sign up, and you can find the right type of guest for your show. But after that aspect, how do you go about doing that? You've got to send the person your Google Calendar link or Calendly or whatever scheduling software you might have. You send them that link. They schedule a time on your calendar. Then you send them a link to say, hey, we've confirmed that you're going to come on this date, confirmation emails and whatnot. Then you're using a platform to record that conversation. You might be using Riverside. You might be using Ecamm Live. I think Ecamm Live is the best one to be able to do that because everything is produced on your machine. StreamYard, there's so many different platforms. Zoom, right? There's so many different platforms that you're then recording those conversations. We got Scott CX3X saying hello. What's up? Thank you. So you have so many different people, so many different workflows and processes that are looking so good. They're moving forward into producing. And yes, I might sound like AI and look like AI because the video quality of these cameras is absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna switch this camera so you kind of see that this AI also has a side look. So as you're creating content, as you're going through these process of creating your podcast, you're going from the scheduling, the email, now you're recording the episode. Once you're done with the recording, now you've got to edit the episode. Once you're done editing, now you've got to inform the people on the other side, hey, your episode is live. Go share it. Then you're sharing it on social media. Like there's so many different things that you've got to go through. And I was like, truly, I'm not the only one who's facing this problem. It's probably a me problem, but I was like, no, let me go find out. So I interviewed hundreds of podcast hosts to see what their process looked like. I talked to agency owners who themselves were managing hundreds of podcasts and asked them what their process looked like. And it sounded very similar. It sounded like they were doing the same, jumping from island to island to island to make this production happen, running different strategies. And I was like, how do I solve this? Now, I took the conversations, I took all those transcripts, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with all of these things that I learned? I created spreadsheets, I created a research material that were like, okay, this is what's happening, this is the number of people, this is how long it takes. And like, how do I collapse the time from when it starts to when it ends? And as I'm doing this, I'm like, this is really interesting. It's going to take a lot of energy, a lot of effort to actually build this software out. Now, if you've known me for a while, or if you haven't, I've been in the software development space for about 25 years. I've designed multiple different applications over the years for the 3-letter companies and 5-letter companies and 4-letter companies. Dish, FINRA, DoD, DOJ. Like I've worked for these companies in the past and created these solutions. And I'm like, surely I can create a solution for myself. All right, Whitney says, 7, can I have a mic? Can you have a mic? What kind of mic are you looking for? Yes, you may have a mic. You can say what you want to say and I'll share it with the audience. So several different applications. And as you're going through this, I'm like, how do I solve this issue, bring this together? And my cousin, he's been in the software development for some time as well, and he's been constantly creating new solutions for the industry that he's been in. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I don't know how to use it, or, I don't have a use for it. But then as I saw the systems that he was using in the back end, the systems that were enabling him to create, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How do I implement it myself? And it became harder and harder. Actually, it became easier and easier as time went on. Now, every single AI provider has a cloud code equivalent, a coder, desktop application. Like, you can hand off things to AI to do, which is a good start. And that's what I say. You get started first. Gotta get started first before you know what you want. You gotta make sure that the shoes fit, that you gotta make sure that you're actually getting out and making the content. And as you're moving forward, as you're moving to that next phase, you start to see the path for what it is either missing or it already has. When you keep noticing the things that is missing, like, oh, I can create a solution for that. So that's what I essentially started to do. I was like, I see all of these gaps in the system. How can I fill in those gaps and create the solution that's going to help me move to the next phase? And that's where Podglue came to be. Now, Podglue is a fun story. Like, how I even thought of the name was because I was interviewing somebody and this name stuck out. So I purchased this domain 2023 that I'm going to do something with it. You got to have these things in your back pocket. So eventually I started and created this product in 2025 December. I kind of trademarked the product, IP locked it through Instant IP. Again, there's so many different levels that I don't want to get into, but I started building this application to see if it can solve my problem. And lo and behold, it started to solve my problem. I'm like, wow, this is what I was looking for. This is the tool that I needed. And then once I created that first version, I started sharing with people like, hey, here's what the tool can do. What do you think? What do you think is missing? And as every single conversation, every single research that I did, I took that feedback and I integrated it and I upgraded how the system worked. So not really building in public, but building with these people in the back that have my back. People that I know that are strong in the industry, that are in the industry, the industry experts. I was like, how can I continue to build and ask them what's possible, what's going to happen, and how can we keep moving forward? So I'm gonna showcase what this tool looks like, what it does. It's a tool designed for podcasters. I'm calling it Podglue. It's a glue that keeps your podcast and your business together. It's a glue, it's a glue that keeps all of those things moving forward. And I've also created a community around it so I can invite any podcaster out there to, hey, send in some ideas, because I am full of ideas. I'm constantly adding these ideas in my backlog to say, how can this work? How can this move forward? And every single day that you're learning, I want you to make sure that you're using that content, using that idea. I'm going to play around with this thing. Hold on. How did this border? How did this? Oh, there's the angle. Right, that's not it. Anyways, I don't know why she wants a microphone. But what I'm saying is, as I'm moving forward, I'm creating this content. I'm building the software to make sure that it does the thing that not only does it help me, but also helping the people that are then using this application. So bring in the podcast, create the content, share it with the world. Bring in an episode. And then not just that, not only are you creating the content for the podcast, but you're also remembering the conversation you had. Because now there's a home for every single episode. So let's set up this share on here. Mark, what's happening, my friend? Good to see you. I know for some reason I've got these comments sideways. I don't know what I did. Maybe it's this guy right here. Nope, this is something else. This is the size of the image. But let's see. So I'm going to share the look of the app, and I wish I could pause recording. But no, you can't pause a ongoing production. Good morning from Don. Thanks, Don. How you doing, my friend? So I'm setting up a stage and I do have these scenes already set up. I just got to go to it and make sure that it looks right. And yes, I'm building in public. Right. So when I'm literally building in public, meaning I'm sharing this as I talk about it, as I build it. And where's the Safari window? Boom. Is this it? Yeah. So I'm going to show the screen, publish. All right, so this is Podglue. I was testing out another podcast, Forerunners, but I'm going to switch over to my Hacks and Hobbies podcast. It'll show you a library, but I'm going to switch over to the home page, which kind of shows you what's happening, what you can do with the application, gives you overview of the command deck of what's on deck, what you got to work on, what's new, and what's ready to go. There's a ton of warnings, of course. You want to know when you enter your workspace that, hey, what am I working on? What needs assistance and whatnot? And you can create this conversation or, work on the things that you need to work on. So 4 main pillars. We've got create, plan, grow, manage. And what that enables you to do is to, hey, what am I creating? I'm creating episodes. These are episodes that are already produced and available to the internet through RSS feed. Let's say I want to bring in a new episode that I just published. I'm going to go to my RSS feed, fetch this episode, and I see I've got a lot of new episodes that just came out. I want to showcase my good friend Gordon Firemark. I'm going to pull in his episodes and work on these episodes as we share this content, as I need to promote these episodes. So I'm going to go ahead and import these 2 episodes into the platform, which is going to say, hey, this is a full episode and this is a bonus episode. What I've been doing is I've been creating 2 parts to every episode, which makes it a lot easy. And Mark said, I wish I mentioned Podglue launch. No problem. The launch is coming up this week. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. But let me take you through the ringer of what actually happens once we bring the podcast episode in. So I'm going to go to the full episode first. And the first thing that we need is the transcript. Now, if this is too dark for you, you can always switch to the light mode. I like it the dark mode because it keeps the pressure off my eyes. The first thing that we need to make sure that we have transcription in here so that we can start working on this episode. This is already recorded. It's actually in post-production. So I'm going to go to post-production and say, hey, let's transcribe this episode. The app is going to automatically go and get the episode from the RSS feed and start transcribing it. Then I'm going to go to the full episode and do the same thing. And once I'm ready, it's going to come back to me and say, hey, these episodes have transcriptions. Let's work on it. I'm going to go to this 7-figure retention engine hiding here's what it would look like when the transcript is in here. And once you're inside an episode, there's 4 different stages that we can do. The first one is you're preparing, you're capturing, you're amplifying, and then looking at the insights on what that episode did for me. So now that this episode is published and created, look, it automatically brought me back to Gordon Farmark's episode. It's like, hey, here's the transcript from the episode that we just captured. Let's get to work. So to get to work, generate content with Forge. I'm going to go ahead and hit Extract Insights. Extract Insights. It's going to take the entire transcript and run through it to then pull in the content that's shareable, especially the insights that I want over here. I want to say good morning to Don as well. I rearranged this post, this comment down here. All right, as we wait. By the way, as you're waiting, so boom, and it brings me back with the post, the description that's already in the RSS feed, as well as additional follow-up ideas. What are the specific work made for hire clauses every creator needs in their contract? Mentioned resources that were mentioned in the episode are automatically captured. If there's an email, if there's a link that you want to add, you can go here, add the link for the Easy Legal Entrepreneurs Podcast. Now, this continuation plan is really powerful because it helps me to say, hey, what are some other things that I can talk to my guest that I just had on? So let me increase the font size so you can see a little better. So what other conversations can I have with Gordon Farmark? You can have a second or third episode, a deep dive into copyright expectations or exceptions, or navigating AI content ownership. Some curiosity loops for my audience to think about it. How can creators effectively leverage private AI models to manage their content without compromising privacy or ownership? Again, it's pulling the content that's going to make sense, because after you've had the conversation, you feel great, but what do you do after the fact? I talked to my friend 6 months ago before this episode went published, right? So am I going to remember every single thing that I had? Yes, if I go and listen to the entire episode, or if I go and watch the video. But most of us are moving so fast, we don't have that time. So this helps pull in that information so that you can say, hey, these are the chapter markers for what we all talked about. Common copyright mistakes, trademarking your podcast brand. Hold on, this AI bot needs to drink some water. So it pulls in all of this information. So these are my insights on what the core conversation was discussed. It's also giving me a area where I know who my guest is, what he talked about, what his contact information is, his professional bio, pulled from the episode, other social media platforms that he's on. I can put him over here, additional guests if I had on that episode, additional appearances that he had. So here you'll see that I've had him on 2 different episodes, and here are the 2 different episodes. I can even listen to those episodes in here. Again, everything is centralized in one place. Each episode now has a home. Each guest now has a place where where they can continue to live and watch. So now let's amplify this episode. How are we going to do that? Well, there's 5 different things in the amplify section. Let's take a look. So let's take a look at the video trailer. This is the trailer blueprint. So the title of the trailer would be this one. Hook, what are the specific work made for hire clauses every creator needs in their contract? And then I can, record this trailer for this episode to promote bringing people back to my episode. It's all created because we have the context from the podcast, and I can mention these different chapter markers if I want to in the episode, and it just makes it so much easier. If I have a YouTube video for this episode, I can post it here so that it's enabled and viewable to see. There's something that it says generate social. Now, why do we need to do this? It's because this is the social lab. The Social Pass creates content from the initial transcript that's now shareable for me, for the world, essentially, for the podcast. So let's run this Social Pass real quick, and we will see what it comes out to. Okay, what else scene did I have? I wanted to see if I can share. All right, so now I've got host talking point. Gordon, it was fantastic having you back for part 2, your ability to break it down, right? So you have content that you can share with the host after the episode 1. This is something you can share. But down here, we've got an entire LinkedIn post created from the content that we just captured, from the transcript that we captured. And I was like, perfect. I always wanted to post on LinkedIn. Now I can do that directly from here. I don't need to switch to another platform. I don't need to change gears or jump to another island. Everything is right here. Everything is right here for me to deploy this to LinkedIn. And we are testing it in live. And boom, the post has been posted successfully. So let's take a look. We're going to head on over to LinkedIn. And then additional things, we've got LinkedIn Live event, Premiere. I've got a Threads post created here. I've got Instagram post created here. I can even send this newsletter to my audience, to my email list, to say, hey, come check out this episode. I can even post it on my blog, my personal blog or my other blog, that, hey, here's a new episode that's coming out. Go check it out. So let's go over to LinkedIn, go to my post here, and I'll notice it down here. Boom. This was posted just right now. And of course, I'm going live stream here too. So I'll click into this one, and here I've got my key takeaways. I've got my image from the episode, and I've got a link here that I can go to listen to the episode. So all of it is right here within reach. Boom. Now, something that is hidden down here is this generate viral content. This will create a thread for me. So let me click on that button and I'll show you what that looks like. There we go. It created a 4-post thread that I can post to my threads, and it'll post the first post, second post, third post, fifth post, all together in one click. Just like on LinkedIn, it created this post, and it created this first comment with the link to post, because you never ever want to post a link in your main post, because you don't want to tell people, hey, you need to leave this platform to go consume my content. No, we want to keep people on that platform so that it gives you better signals from social media standpoint. Additional viral ideas are down here that you can play around with. Trademark renewal, the 5 and 10 year old rule, right? Proving use in commerce for trademarks. Again, all of these things are generated from that pillar content. And this pillar content is something that Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about. What are pillar content? It's a long form 45-minute piece of content that you've created, and now you can generate additional pieces of content to bring people from different different medium of content. So you have text, you have videos, you have images, like all sorts of things. So let's go ahead and post this to Threads. And here's the 4 posts it's going to post. Let's go ahead and post it. And it's posting to Threads. It's going to go to Threads and post that link. Oh no! It failed. Well, that's why we build in public. So things are going to break as you're building. Absolutely. So, lucky for me, I've been doing this for a while. So I'll know exactly what broke and I can go and fix that. So, published post has a 400, and it's probably something that I can fix in the next hour. But again, it's good to see that, hey, there's something's gonna break, but you continue to build and you continue to fail fast so that you can fix fast and you can move forward. So that's the social promotion, the social lab. The next step is email. I want to inform Gordon, hey, Gordon, your episode is ready. Go check it out. And let's hit this publish. Make this available. Now, this is a little bit of bug, I think, that I need to make sure that it's working. And reason why I didn't click on this link over here. Let's see what happens. Click on this link, and it's going to probably give us a 404. Oh, no. It worked. So this is the link that I'm sharing on social media that's bringing people back to Podglue, bringing back to a specific page that's promoting the episode. People can listen to the episode right here. They can follow these links that were mentioned in the show, the show notes, all of those things, and be able to connect with Gordon Farmark. And if they don't like the look of the page, they can always change the colors. Wish it was a little more dramatic, but it's good stuff. So that's the public link. And for my guests, what I've created is this that's the share link that we just watched, that we just saw in the email. I'm creating this specific link for them. So this is Gordon's link. From here, he can download his thumbnail. He can check out copy of content that he can share on his social media. Additional things down here. Shareable quotes are automatically created that he can download and create. Hey, I was a guest on Hacks and Hobbies podcast. Here's what I talked about. And I've got my good friend. Oh, how did this change? Let me fix this part. Safari. All right. Gabe is beta testing Podglue right now, and he just mentioned that he and I have our episode that's coming out tomorrow, April the 2nd. I like that you didn't publish our episode on April 1st. April Fools. But yeah, this is what's possible with Podglue. Everything's created in one place. You don't need to jump around anymore. I've got an additional piece of the content over here that I can send to my email to say, hey, here's a newsletter. Here's a Wave 1 email, Wave 3 email, Wave 2, Wave 3, to keep in touch with Gordon. And it's just makes it so much easier. And he says, I know. I think this is on the comment about April Fools. But guys, if you have an idea and you haven't taken action on creating that idea into a reality, this is the permission. I'm giving you permission to go try it, to go build what you want, to solve the problem that you've been thinking about. Use the tools like Claude, like OpenAI, like Manus and Quen and Kimi and like whatever it is that you can get your hands on. By the way, Quen and Kimi are Chinese models. They have a very similar thing that these other tools in the US can do. Again, these are all AI models that will listen to you and create content for you on the go. So where does the philosophy for Podglue comes from? Well, it comes from building relationship, because every single person has been thinking and looking at podcasting a different way. There's a gentleman who wrote a book, Podcast Sucks If You Don't Have One. And I absolutely agree with him. Podcast sucks if you don't have one. What podcast enables you to do is to build your personal development. It's a personal development tool. But not only that, you're building a platform that you can share with the world. You're building a platform that's going to enable you to grow into somebody that you didn't even imagine possible. Let me ask this question. If you've gone to school, what did you learn at school? If you've played any sports, what did you learn playing sports? If you worked with teams, like any of those activities, any of the hobbies, any of the work that you've done, what have you learned? What you've learned is that you've got to start, you got to start at zero. But let me tell you this, that literally nobody starts at zero. You're here with years and years of content, with years and years of experience that you can build on top of. If you tell yourself that, oh my God, who's going to listen to me? You're going to listen to you. Because here's the thing. We don't even listen to ourselves. So when we ask the question, who's going to listen to us? That's something you got to overcome. And if that's a problem that you're having, you need to go read my book, PRM, Podcast Relationship Management. I'll share what, and that's basically where the philosophy comes from. So it's a book that's coming out, that's actually already available, but I'm officially launching it next month. But this is the book. It's called Your Best Podcast Relationships Shouldn't Go Cold. Because as you're building content, as you're recording podcast episodes, you're building a connection, a powerful relationship with the guest on the other side. Right? So it's important to build on a relationship. So the podcast relationship management book talks about how do you capture context? How do you follow up with content? Follow up with intent. Turn one great conversation into referrals, repeat guests, and compounding trust instead of missed opportunities. So your podcast was never just content, it was always relationship. And that's something that I discovered podcasting for 8 years. Right? It's something that I hadn't had a thought of it. I just wanted to start a podcast. So if you're interested, go check out this book. It's available on Amazon. And if you want to do me a favor and help me with some reviews, reach out to me and I can get you a free copy of the book. So the concept of Podglue lives inside PRM, the Podcast Relationship Management. And what it does, it enables you to really build those connections with the people around you, the people that are coming on and guesting on your show. And that's I just looked up PRM and it shows up as Partner Relationship Management, and Salesforce is all over it. So I guess I'm reusing PRM in a totally different way for podcasters. There's also PRM.com. I guess I was very specific in when I asked Google in PRM from the podcast relationship or podcast perspective, and there was nothing, but of course there's a whole company, PRM.com, that is in the Europe. I'm not sure what they're showing me. Let me pull this up. Oh, it's a clothing brand. Okay. It's a clothing brand, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Join the community of PRM discount. Yeah, PRM is a clothing brand. But from the podcaster's perspective, it's a podcast relationship management, and it enables you to keep those connections live and alive. Guys, thank you so much for checking this episode of Random Live Streams. Sorry. It's spring break. The kids are home. And as I'm building these tools in public and tools in collaboration with the people that I know and support me, like Gabe and Mark and Don that came on and supported the comment. Sent a DM about Danny Marie. Just sent a DM. Thank you so much, Danny. I will reach out to you with more information. Appreciate you. And it's really powerful when you're able to solve a problem. And what I'm continually doing is, how can I make the thing that I've built even better? And so I'll give you an example of how to bake a cake. So I've actually baked cakes way back when I was younger. It was a toy oven, and Mark probably knows what I'm talking about. But when you're baking a cake, imagine the different levels of cakes that you've seen over the years. So there's the basic cake, a pound cake, let's say. Pound cake is a simple cake. You mix the ingredient, you put it in a box, you bake it, you're done, you're eating it. That's a pound cake, right? And you can have different versions of pound cakes. You can have a zucchini bread cake. You can have banana bread. Like, those are simple tools that get the job done. Hey, I'm hungry. I'm going to make some bread. I'm going to make a banana bread, or I'm going to make some pancakes. 2-3 ingredients, you're done. But then there are different levels, right? There's cakes that have frosting. There are cakes that have multiple layers with frosting in the middle. I remember seeing a 12-layer cake, and I was like, oh my God, I want to try this 12-layer cake. And each layer has the baked element, then there's a frosting in the middle, then there's baked element, frosting, different material, from jelly to Nutella to, like, you name it, right? There's the different fillings, essentially. So as you level up, there's different levels of experience you can have with cakes. So you've got the pound cake, you've got 1-layer cake with frosting, you've got 2-layer cakes, 3-layer cakes, up to wedding cakes. And then there are cakes where they make entire TV shows around. As, for example, Is This Real? Like, they're making physical objects made of cake. So as I'm building Podglue, when the first version of Podglue, the first alpha version of Podglue, the MVP was a pound cake. Is it doing what I wanted to do? Yes, it's doing what I wanted to do. All right. Next level up. What else can I add? What are the frostings that I can add to this? I want to be able to import episode from my RSS feed. I can do that. I want to process this episode so I can do additional things. I can do that. So I am adding additional flavors, additional layers on top of the cake that I've built with Podglue. And as I showed the app earlier, let me go back to the scene. Where are my shortcut buttons when I need them, right? I need to go take the class from Alec Johnson on how to better arrange my Stream Deck. So as I'm building this application, these are the frostings, right? Can it import the episode? Yes, it can. Can I do additional things to the episode? Oh, let's make it happen, right? let's continue to go down that route. So we've got the email done. We've got visual assets created, right? We've got additional things down here. I can create some visual using Nano Banana over here. Business Structure LLC is going to pull up over here, right? So I'm adding those frostings on top of the cake as I'm building it. And guys, every single day I have new ideas that I want to implement in here. Every single day. Even today, I'm on Twitter, and there's this one guy, he got fired from Anthropic because he leaked the code, and he's built an app that I talked about, Ferryman. I'm like, wow, Ferryman's doing some really cool things, automating the stuff. So guess what? I'm bringing in automation into this app. What does that mean? So let me show you. It's not here yet, but this is something that I'm, again, building in public. When I import, this is a physical action that I got to do. There's 3 more episodes that I have not scanned and pulled in yet. But what if, as soon as this episode hits live on the RSS feed, Podglue proactively grabs the episode, pulls it in to the system, right? So I'm going to show you. Pulls it into here, runs autopilot on it. And once the autopilot is done, it's like, okay, I've got all of the social pieces. Let's schedule them. It's in the growth. Let's schedule them on schedule this post. So I'm going to schedule a post for today. I want to choose this latest episode that I pulled in with Gordon Farmark. I already did LinkedIn, so I'm going to do Twitter. Oh, limit is 280. Can reduce that. I'm going to post it in Thread. So I'm just going to post it, at 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. Oh, I could just click here. I want to schedule this post out. So what if it can automatically schedule these posts for me 30 minutes apart? Now I've got a whole schedule built out. And all I did was publish my podcast episode on the RSS feed, and the system goes into overdrive, creating content and posting it for you. So again, those are the things that I'm learning about today, tomorrow, and then I'm integrating it into the application. Those are the icing on top, so the flowers, the decoration on top of the cake that I keep building on here. And my favorite piece, the reason why I even went down this route, was to be able to create books from my podcast episode. Now I've done 700 plus episodes, and if I were to take 10 to 20 chapters per book, I can create a nice book from each of those episodes together. So here's a Architecting the Unconventional Life book. It's an active draft because I'm continuing to work on it. Here's the narrative, 20,000 words in this book. Some of these chapters do not have enough content, so I can go back and remove those pieces of things in here. But again, once I'm ready to go, I can export it as a PDF or a EPUB or a document to continue to edit that episode. I've got the foundation set. Now I can continue to work on that book. And when I'm ready to publish, I've got all my metadata right here for Amazon KDP. I can just publish a book. So how does this help? Well, if you've talked about a specific topic on the long run, you can bring in those episodes, you can bring in those conversations and create a book out of it. So full-on book builder from conversations that you had with yourself, conversations that you had with somebody else. If you're focusing on one specific topic, this brings all of that together and gives you the basic foundation that you can continue to edit. And when you're ready to publish, you can go and push it out in the world. Again, thanks again for coming on. I appreciate you. Who else is here? JR. Oh, this is from before. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. And again, DM me if you want access to that book. DM me if you want to join the beta for Podglue. If I may, you can go to podglue.com/beta to learn more and sign up as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.